Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Shreya from Encircle Tech, and I'm really excited to have you all here. Today, we are diving into a topic that's going to shape the future of smart operations and asset intelligence, which is AEC Trends of 2026. Why your digital twin strategy needs a GIS context. We've got two fantastic speakers lined up, Naeem and Pratik. They'll walk you through an amazing journey showing how to connect BIM and GIS to build digital twins that aren't just visually impressive but truly functional for real world operations. So let's give them a warm welcome.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Naeem, and I'm part of business development team here at Encircle. Pratik, if you want to just introduce.
Hello everyone. Uh, I'm Pratik Singh. I am working as a technical lead, and we are going to introduce our platform.
All right. Yeah. Once again, hello, everyone. I'm very excited to kick off this session. Before I do that, I quickly wanted to take a minute of yours and just, thank you, all of you, for taking your time out and joining this session today. And before we begin, I just wanted to give you a quick background of Encircle. Encircle is known in the industry for the kind of great work we have been doing over last decade. So we started our operations in 2012. We are currently about 300 plus engineers as well as developers working in a single roof. So our head office is based out of Pune in India, and then we have offices in the US, UK, London, as well as in Japan. And to talk about some of our customers, so we have 150 plus customers spread across 20 countries, and we are very proud to say that we have built about 300 plus custom software solutions, as well as we have done about 100 plus BIM projects as well. So we are known for the kind of quality that we offer to customers across the globe. So we are partnered with Autodesk, and then we are direct software development partner for Siemens PLM, Autodesk, and then Dassault Systems as well. And we work with some of the large general contractors, to architects, to some of the trade contractors. It could be mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and then we work in great, with some of the large companies who also deal with surveying as well. So yeah, in nutshell, we work with almost all type of companies, and Encircle was founded by our proud founders, Mr. Varun Bharti as well as Tarika Jain. And then we are very, excited and very, it's a privilege to have Mr. Manu Parpia as one of our board of directors, who's also a ex-CEO of Geometric PLM, which is now a part of HCL. So yeah, let's dive in and then talk about this session that we are going to do today. So I'm very excited again to kick off the session because what we are discussing today is at the center of every AEC transformation strategy in 2026. So if you've looked at your roadmap, right, for the year, you've probably seen the term digital twin. So, digital twin could be, I'm sure, in your dictionaries or in your notes, it could have been circled or highlighted, bolded, or maybe even underlined in red, right? It's the vision everyone is chasing right now. But let's be very honest for a moment. Most of the digital twin we see today aren't really twins at all. They're really beautiful, which are eventually heavy 3D models, which are in BIM, CAD, sitting inside a design environment. They look very impressive. They render well. They do demo even better. But in a real world, they're disconnected from the live operations. So they don't talk to real data streams, and the facility teams often don't use them. So what we really have today is not a twin. We have a static snapshot, a frozen moment in time, and that's the gap we are going to fix today. So because the missing link, the piece that turns a static model into a living, evolving operational asset is all a GIS context, right? So when you anchor your building, your infrastructure, or your even asset model to the geospatial world, when you connect it to the real-time location, intelligence, everything changes. So your design becomes more operational, your asset becomes trackable, your decisions become data-driven, and then your digital twin finally becomes a true representation of reality, not just a 3D artifact. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to, break down why GS is no longer optional, why it's becoming foundational, and how organizations that get the right are building the most successful digital twin ecosystems in the year 2026. So let's get started. So here is what we will cover in the next 45 minutes or so together. First, we will start with a 2026 a reality check, a quick look at what's happening in the AEC and the operational landscape, and why this year is such a turning point for a digital twin. And secondly, we will get very honest about why current digital twin, project fails. And then not the marketing reasons, or to be honest, the real operational reasons that stop pilots from every scale in. So thirdly, we will talk about, I will walk you through the four major trends which are shaping how owners, operators, and the AEC firms are redefining asset management in 2026. And then fourth, we move into the part everyone waits for, is a live demo of NBIM in action. So my colleague is going to give you a quick live demo of our NBIM platform. So you will see what happens when BIM, GIS, and the reality capture finally work together instead of living in separate worlds. And finally, we will close with a clear and practical pilot framework so you know what exactly and how to start, what to avoid, and how to prove value quickly. So without wasting much of time, let's dive in. So before we go deeper, let's make sure you're in the right room, right? So I'm sure if you're someone who's a BIM manager, I'm sure you have spent months or years building a clean, coordinated model, only to hand it over and watch it sit on a server unopened. Not because it's not good, but because the operations team doesn't have the tools or the workflows to actually use it. And just imagine if you're also someone who's a surveying company or a surveyor, you are capturing phenomenal reality data. It could be in terabytes of, different formats like point clouds, or it could be imagery or even LiDAR data. But then most of it ends up stranded on external drivers or even a cloud folders, because stakeholders can't easily visualize, measure, or even integrate it. And finally, also, if you are someone who's an assets owner, right? If you're asset owner from the asset management, so you're not chasing like, polygons or, file formats. You simply want fast, reliable answers. For an instance, you would want to know, where is my equipment, or what condition is it in, or even what changed since last month, right? So if any of that sounds like your day-to-day world, then this session is absolutely designed exactly for you. So let's talk about 2026 because the pressure has never been higher. So obviously, clients and asset owners no longer want to hand over box filled with different formats, like it could be PDFs or it could be DWGs or even models. They want leaving, like streaming or even operational data. So, but then what they want is they want real-time dashboards and then carbon and energy tracking, predictive maintenance insights, and a very clear visibility of what's happening in the field right now. But here is a challenge, the tools and the processes we rely on today were designed for just design and the construction, not for day-to-day operations. So we ended up with a massive expectation gap where the owners are asking for actionable intelligence, and we are still delivering static documents and disconnected 3D files, right? So this is a pressure which is shaping every digital transformation conversation in 2026. So the industry that we are in right now is that the industry knows where it needs to go, but our workflows, formats, and platforms haven't really fully caught up yet. So this is honestly speaking, when we did analysis, we understand that this is the root of the problem, and I call it the silo trap. So we have built incredible technologies, but we have kept them in different rooms. So BIM gives us very rich geometric data, likewise, but it has no real-world location context. GIS gives us accurate, location, but it lacks the detailed, needle for the building operations. And then lastly, the reality capture gives us the ground truth, but the data sits on servers and unstructured and underused. So these systems don't talk to each other. They don't share the intelligence that all of us look for. And they definitely don't support real-time decision making as well. So what happens on the operations side is that, let's take for an instance, a facility manager shows up to fix a leak. And instead of a unified view, they're just juggling with a BIM viewer or a GIS map or a point cloud viewer, and usually a paper printout as well, to figure out what's actually happening on site. So this is not the digital transformation that we're all looking for. So this is digital, fragmentation. And this is exactly why twins fail to scale up. And then because the people who need the information the most, the operation teams are just flying blind. So now let's talk about the first major trends in shape, which is shaping in 2026, convergence. So for decades, the industry have lived up to two separate worlds. One is the world that builds the asset, and then the world that operates the asset. So different teams and then different tools, different priorities, but 2026 is forcing those worlds to merge, because today the data created during design and construction doesn't really retire at handover. It becomes the operational backbone for the next 30 years of the asset's life. So the handover is no longer the finished line. So we feel that, the BIM model has been delivered and our job is done. Honestly speaking, it's the starting point. So your BIM model isn't just a beautiful drawing anymore. It's the database, one that needs to feed maintenance systems, energy models, carbon tracking platforms, or even for that matter, IoT dashboards, and everything in the prop tech system. So this is why convergence matters. So the value of your design data is no longer measured by how it looks, but how long it survives. So the second trend that we feel is one of the most transformative shifts happening right now is the GIS context. So here's the truth. Without GIS, most digital twins look impressive, but they are essentially spaceships floating in white void. So there's no north, there's no south, no streets, no utilities, no environmental risk zones, no real world context at all. And when a model has no context, it can't answer the most fundamental operation questions. It's like where does the asset sit relative to? If there are, just imagine if there are flood zones and drainage paths, and then city utilities and underground networks, emergency access routes and evacuation paths, and then environmental constraints or even zoning limits. The where is what turns geometry into intelligence. And this is the line in design for 2026. So if your digital twin doesn't have GIS context, it's not a twin. So it's just a model wearing the wrong name tag. So GIS is no longer optional. It's the anchor that ties your digital twin to reality. And then the third trend is something every surveyor or even BIM lead and the digital workflows team is feeling right now, which is the data explosion. I'm sure, if you're a surveying company and then if you're surveyors or even crews who's got surveying team, we are scanning everything today, right? So we use like different technologies like drones, then terrestrial LiDAR scanners, mobile mapping vans for corridor mapping, and then photogrammetry. So if it has a sensors, we are using it, right? And the result is massive and huge in terabytes of reality capture data for every project. And here is a problem. So the data is too heavy for traditional workflows. The point clouds and the point cloud that really crashes the desktops because the data is massive and huge. The files are too large to email or even sync between each other. And then the hard disk, full of brilliant reality data that nobody can actually open, let alone integrate into a live system. So the bottleneck isn't about just capturing the real world. We are great at that. We capture almost anything and everything. The bottleneck is making that reality usable. So in 2026, we don't just need to store the data sets. We need a way to stream them and then visualize them and then instantly use them and connect them to the BIM world and the GIS world so that the reality data becomes operational intelligence and not just shelfwares. And finally, the fourth trend is the browser is the new operating system. So think about your stakeholders or your people from your management team, like your CEO, right? The CEO reviewing a site plan, the city planner approving a permit, or even the maintenance technician walking the building. So none of them are sitting in front of highlighted workstations or even GPU-powered desktops, right? So they're using either lightweight laptops or iPads, tablets, and sometimes, we even use just a phone in the field, right? So here's how the reality is. So if your digital twin cannot open instantly in a web browser, it simply will not get used. So there is no downloads, no installs, no please wait while we upload maybe 7 to 10 GB of point cloud data. So right now, the era of heavy desktop viewer is almost over. where 2026 demands cloud native or even browser first platforms, because that's the only environment where your entire stakeholder chain can access, view, and then act on the data. The digital twin that lives in the Chrome absolutely wins. So everything else gets ignored. So moving on. So how do we fix everything we've just talked about? So we talked about some of the pain points, some of the challenges and everything, right? So we stopped treating, firstly, BIM files, the GIS layers, and the reality capture data sets as separate worlds. So we moved to what we call the unified stack. And this is exactly where NBIM comes in, right? So NBIM acts as a glue layer, a cloud engine designed to bring all the critical data types together. That is your BIM models with all the details, your GIS maps with all the geography and context, and then your point clouds with all the real-time accuracy. So, and instead of forcing you to install heavy desktop tools or download massive files, NBIM streams everything directly into your browser as it's a web-based platform. So here at NBIM, you don't need installs. There's no installs. There's no GPU. There's no specified viewer. Just it's open of click, right? So you just open a link. Your team doesn't need it to code. You don't need to be doing a lot of training, spending time on training. They just need to upload the data, and NBIM handles the complexity, alignment, and then the streaming, optimization, and visualization, which is a great feature, all in one, unified and a lightweight view, right? So this is a stack that finally makes digital twin usable, accessible, and scalable across entire organizations. So here is what we almost come across, or we see across where every organization try to solve this problem on their own. For example, most of teams go down to two paths. One is either build it yourself, or basically the other way around, buy a massive enterprise system. So let's take an instance. You hire developers, and then they write custom scripts, and then they stitch together APIs, and then try to create your own digital twin platform, which is very expensive and it's slow as well in the meanwhile. And 2 years later down the lane, you are still wrestling with integrations, performance issues, and then the data alignment. Similarly, when you buy a massive enterprise system, and suddenly you're dealing with complex interfaces, rigid workflows, then heavy desktop installations, and then months of onboarding your team members. So at the end of both the paths, right, the result is the same. So you're still not you're still stuck somewhere, right, in both the options. So the workflows don't scale up, the field teams don't adopt it, and the digital twin stays in the innovation lab instead of going mainstream. So that's exactly why we built, NBIM, to address all these pain points, to be the easy button for BIM and GIS reality integration. So like I mentioned earlier, no coding, no complicated install, no multi-layer project. Just upload your data and it works fantastically. So, but rather than keeping talking about it, I would rather show you, and let's switch from slides to some real-time action, which is the demo. I would like my colleague Pratik to take over and just give us a demonstration of NBIM. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Naeem. Thank you for explaining the pain points which is currently organizations facing, and how the digital twin works here and how our platform will work. So just let me share my screen, and yeah. So here now let me explain how this our platform solution. So basically we are we have a solution that is NBIM. Now, NBIM is basically a unified platform which is solving the multiple problems. And by the mean of unified, it's have multiple type of viewer. We can load BIM files, we can load GIS files. So it's basically combining the BIM model in GIS context. So we can add GIS layer. So in industry, we have three types of things like BIM, which is design and details, the design which have all the details, and there's another thing is GIS context, which is basically location and the actual. And the third part is the point cloud data, which is the actual how the model looks and how in the real world it looks like. So this will now what NBIM do? NBIM will combine all these three pain points because the data is scattered and we combine all the points in one platform that is NBIM. Okay. Now let me move to the video part so I can explain it more better way how this NBIM solve our problem. So yeah. So let me play this video. So this is basically a platform where user can create projects and upload multiple files. So inside files, they can convert and they can open directly the files into the GIS viewer. So basically, this is the BIM model, and we can upload this BIM model into GIS context. So we can see where the we can actual location of the particular model and how it will look like, and so that we can identify the pain points. And if something in real world, like we can have some kind of tool like a section tool, and in real world if we have something kind of issue, we can create the issue and we can just assign to another modeler or developer who can work on it into it. So this is not only a GIS, we were just putting a BIM model into GIS, not, no, it has many things like all the operations in terms of the viewer, like measurement, appearance, moving the rotation, orientation. As you can see this in this demo, like we can scale up the model, we can change the position of the model, we can rotate it. So these are the basic things which we are already giving. But now the common part is the issue management. So now, if we something issue we can find, we can just create the issue and assign to anyone. So yeah. So in the GIS context, I can say, okay, so you can see this scaling tool. So we can scale the model and we can just see how in the actual world it will look like. Okay. Now the next part is the issue management and view management. So this is a view management is another feature where we can show all the views. Like suppose there is a camera angle which I want to store and I want to store this view. So we can create multiple views and we can store it. And we can assign this and we can send this view to anyone. And even we can attach images and PDF or document anything in particular part of the model. Now here comes the issue management which I was talking about, where we can create multiple issues. We can capture the image from the inside the viewer, and we can just mark it and do some annotations like this part is missing. You need to work on that part and fix it. And we can assign that issue to a particular user which is in our project or is our organization. So this will make our collaboration easier. So this is the one part where admin can create issues and assign to users and they can work on it and they can fix it. And in the later phase, we can do versioning as well. So if there's updated version, if the issue is fixed, we can see the updated version of the model and admin can review it and finalize, okay, it is done. And they can set a priority and status of the issue. So as you can see, this, we are just tracking it. And this is a basically marker where are the issues currently. So basically the tower model. So it's not a, I'm just showing that how this tower model looks in the real world. Now comes to the main part of the application where we are talking about the reality, that is point cloud and BIM file. So you can see there's two model of the same building. Okay. Now this is a BIM file and this is a point cloud file. So both are of the same model and now we can analyze that, okay, all the orientation, scaling and measurement of the model are correct or not. This will help us to identify the pain points, and if there is something missing which mistake we are doing, the model is dead, we can just fix it in the earlier stage of the development. Now, this is basically just give some idea that how in the, because we know the point cloud is captured by the radar scan, so it's the actual data. So this will helps the modeler to just create the design as accurate with some kind of like all the real world scenario. So this will help. Now come to the next part. We have another viewer which is called point cloud viewer. And in the point cloud viewer, we can visualize the 360 images. So as you can see this, if the model has 360 images, we can see it and we can if we do some evolution as well. So now there's some part of building, we can just crop it and we can create kind of mini map. And in that mini map, we can, if there's something 360 images, user can navigate and do some surveying. This is basically for survey people, which way where they can just go and visit this 360 view. They can just do some kind of measurement and find, okay, how this will match the our real world. This will solve our problem as well. So if you just, this will come in the video part. Yeah, in the bottom left you can see this is a mini map which is basically showing the current location of the model and building. And if we navigate it, and we can see there multiple images are here. So now if I click on this particular part, yeah, so you can see this. Yeah, if we click on minimum of any part, we can just directly navigate to a particular room. Okay, and in that room, if something we found, okay, this is not correct, it can be measured, like it can be improved. We can do the kind of measurement here as well. So we can do the scaling as well. So all the tools, which is basic viewer tools, are available in this platform as well. So we can just do kind of measurement. Okay, this accurate or not, the feet. So this will help survey people to just do the analyze the kind of data in the application. So they can just directly open the model in the 360 view and load it and just compare it. And this will solve their problem. Now they can add the measurement, and so basically they're adding here. I'm adding the measurement right now. Now, yeah. So yeah. So let me just move it. Okay, so now after this part, there are multiple type of viewers. So the third type of viewer which we have is a BIM viewer. So we already gone through the GIS viewer and the point cloud viewer. The third viewer is BIM viewer. Now in the BIM viewer, we have kind of, we can see the BIM model with 2D sheets, and we can see the linking between the sheet and models both. And issue management is also present here. So if the issue we can create here, we can see in the GIS context as well. If we create the same model issue in the GIS context, we can see in the BIM model as well. So we have multiple viewers. The whatever team, they can just open their type of viewer, they can open it, they can navigate, they can do their work, and they can do some kind of evolutions. So we have issue management here as well, where we are creating the same issue, but in term of BIM viewer. Now I'm just moving forward. So this is basically a folder management where user can create multiple folder, and in each file we have kind of versioning. Okay, suppose there's some enhancement we did, and now we have to upload the same new version of the file or model. So we user can upload it, and we can just track the history of the particular model. Okay, how many versions we have, who have uploaded the entire data of whatever common data environment we provide. So in one file, we can just do some comments, and we can track all the activities. We can share with the public access or private access with some kind of access management like viewer access, editor access. So these features we have. And now suppose we have multiple versions. So if I want to just compare it in the viewer, so we can do as well. So if this viewer is completed, now there likes to be, we have multiple two versions, so I can just compare it with the help of model comparison tool. So basically what it will do, it will compare both the version and just give me the result that what parts added, what parts modified, and what part removed. And I can just do the quick analysis. As you can see this in screen, in the left side I can see the version 1 model, in the right side I can see version 2 model. And in the bottom table, I can see all the newly added part in the second version. And I can do some kind of filtration and I can just select the column which I want. I can see the deleted parts of the first model and I can see all the modified parts. So we can identify and we can visualize, okay, this is better comparison. And now I can compare in the BIM viewer as well. So basically in NBIM, right, we are supporting all three kind of viewers. One is GIS, one is point cloud, and one is BIM. The main thing is the GIS viewer, we can upload the BIM model. Here you can see we can, I said that we can just track the history of the particular model with some all the attribute, the file size. So basically in this CD environment, there is no need to just put the data in the another storage and just share it. We can directly upload the heavy point cloud data here and directly view it. So no need and directly share to another person. So no need to just upload it on Drive and share to another people and thus they can just open their model in the Revit or another tool. So they can directly open the viewer. As you can see this, we have multiple viewers. So they can open GIS viewer, they can open in BIM viewer, and they can analyze their data. So we can delete the file and all the commutative environment, like we can just want a copy link, a public link. So they can open the viewer and the model in the public link, then don't need to just sign up. They just directly need to just go and navigate and open the link and in the web portal, they can see the model. So this is very helpful for the one who want to share the model and to another person, another team, and they want to evaluate. And we can just do some folder management. Also, we have one more feature, which is that is PDF viewer. So basically, we have one more viewer. If something we are have to create issues or there is a 2D sheet of building and I want to just do some changes in the building and I want to just address some issues and assign to someone. So I can just do some annotation in the PDF viewer and this part and I can assign it to another one and they can just work on it and I can just mark as a tick as a done. So we can do the changes in the PDF as well. So in the runtime, we can just modify the PDF, we can do some changes, we can create multiple versions of PDF and we can just track, okay, the sheet is totally linked with the model. So this kind of analysis is provided. So yeah, this is the basic demo of what we have in the NBIM, where we have, I'm just again repeating these multiple viewers. So yeah, so this is the demo part of the NBIM. Let me move to the next slide. Now I'm giving just the quick recap how this NBIM is useful to others. So basically understand, NBIM is a unified solution. Okay, so we have the point cloud data, which is real entity, well, real entity, which is captured by the scan, ladder scan. We have BIM model, we have GIS context. So basically combining the design, location, and reality in one platform, that is NBIM. So basically, NBIM provides multiple kind of viewer like BIM, point cloud, GIS, and even the thing which is very helpful, which loading multiple models at a single time and a single location. So suppose if I have a project and in a site location and I have multiple buildings, I can load all the my buildings in a same location, and I can just finding the distance between is correct or not, and I can identify, I can see my entire project in one location. So we can create one project and we can upload multiple models and multiple types of model. Then it's not like we can all load only point cloud. We can load point cloud, BIM, shapefile, imagery all together in one place. So this is not only about the point cloud. We can load multiple type of assets and KML file, JSON file. So these all files are supported in NBIM and we can load it together. And basically this helps in all the types of roles like designer, because if designers check the model in the real location and how this work, so they while designing they are prepared and they're ready to just they are prepared and they will just avoid the mistakes which they will do because they can compare with the point cloud data. Survey people just they can go to the point cloud viewer and they can scan, they can do some measurement, and the survey data which they gave, there will be a single source of truth of the organization. Okay, this is the data we have. Operational team just will review it and they can share with the new updates in a real-time update because we have a real-time app notification, and they can just do kind of assigning user, sharing user. So this will help the operation team to speed up faster and just to make the decision quicker. An executive member, they get all the data in one place. They can just view it, they can analyze, they can review, and they can make their decisions. So this is about the NBIM. So in last, I'm just ending up this. NBIM is not only a viewer; it's the total all-in-one tool, which is basically unified solution. And the gap between the scattered, because we have scattered point cloud, scattered BIM model, scattered location, combining, and the NBIM is basically a tool which is filling the gap in this particular problem and pain points which we have. So yeah, this is all about the.
All right, Pratik, thank you so much for the demonstration. That was very detailed. I appreciate that. So again, we are here to help you take the first step, whether that's a conversation or a pilot or even a hands-on trial, right? So you can, check the links on the screen. You see a barcode, you can just enroll yourself for a demo or a trial where, we can give you login credentials. You can get started and put some hands-on, experience using NBIM. So you can upload your data. But since this is going to be a trial version, so there might be a limitation in terms of the features because it's restricted to 5 GB data only. So you don't need to have any kind of enrollments, or you need to key in your credit card details. We don't need all that. So there's no limit on exploration. So you can go to a link which is nbim.encircletech.com as well, for you to just have a look at the NBIM and also avail this trial as well. So yeah, all in one, I would like to thank all of you, and I would request you to see yourself what the 2026 advantage actually looks like, like inside your organization, and try and NBIM. So the best part about NBIM is that it's customizable, which means that we can white label this product for you. That means what you can do is that you can go ahead and create different users and then give this access to your end customers as well. Imagine if you're a surveying company and you do a lot of scanning, so you can put all the data and then pass it on using NBIM platform. So that way you will have stickiness to your customers as well, which means you're going to have a repeat business, to your customers as well. So they will not go anywhere but come back to you because you're giving them this great tool, which is the NBIM tool. So yeah, so that's it from my end. Thank you so much. And we just wanted to check if any of you have any questions. We'll be happy to take.